Hi, I'm Dr. Dave Janda. Welcome back to Operation Freedom Briefings. The goal of these briefings in my weekly radio show, Operation Freedom, is to provide you information the bought-off, lamestream fake media is never going to touch and never present. You can join us every Sunday from 2 to 5 Eastern at davejanda.com, where we stream the show live, which airs out of the People's Republic of Ann Arbor at the Wham Talk 1600s Freedom Bunker. Every Sunday, 2 to 5 Eastern, go to davejanda.com, hit the right upper right-hand corner where it says listen, and you can listen live free of charge. We have great guests, great information, great analysis. In addition, we're available 24/7 at Dave Janda, both the public side, where we upload information on a regular basis, and our subscription side, 30 cents a day, $9 a month, I believe one of the best bangs for the buck in all the internet, where we provide another set of shows. The WTF geopolitical show, what's happening behind the curtain, the information I'm getting from my sources. In addition, we have the Insider Insight show, where we interview someone from behind the curtain about information the fake media will never touch. We have a Department of Advanced Research show. We have our contributing editor sections, our healthcare briefing sections. A lot of information there for you. I hope you'll join us on the free side as well as on the subscription side. Try it for a month. If you don't like it, get rid of it. Not sure why you would. Information you get from our site, you're not going to see in the bought-off lamestream fake media. Today I want to focus on what's called the hammer. Let's call it it's hammer time for Obama, Brennan, his former director of the CIA, and Clapper, his former director of national intelligence. Now, the hammer. I am going to post below this interview a link to an interview I did on Operation Freedom on March 19th, 2017 with General Tom McInerney. The blowback from that interview at the time was enormous. Starting that night, I started getting significant numbers of phone calls and emails of folks associated with the deep state that were not pleased with the information we presented. The information that General McInerney presented was about an illegal surveillance system that was implemented by Barack Obama, and Obama had John Brennan, his director of the CIA, and James Clapper, his director of national intelligence, employ an individual by the name of Dennis Montgomery to create a platform called the Hammer to illegally surveil Trump, Flynn, the Trump team, but it went beyond that. Judges, people in government, possibly you and me, millions of individuals, monitor phone calls, internet activity, financial transaction, texts, and use it to be utilized as leverage when needed. Dennis Montgomery, as he had set this up and then realized that people were being targeted, decided he didn't want to be a part of this. And he contacted an individual by the name of Larry Klayman, who's one of the toughest attorneys to take on the deep state. Larry has been a guest on my show, Operation Freedom, as well, and who confirmed this. Montgomery came to him, and Larry Klayman took Montgomery to the FBI. This is while Comey was director. And under oath and under deposition, he presented, I believe, 4 hard drives that comprised of hundreds of thousands of documents supporting what he had been hired to do by Obama, Brennan, and Clapper, and what information he obtained. There's a huge amount of information. He went under oath and testified to the FBI. Now remember, Comey at one point, Comey was made aware of Dennis Montgomery testifying and what he said and what he presented. Comey, subsequently to that, to being made aware, went in front of Congress and testified under oath that he was unaware of any surveillance system to monitor anyone in the United States, let alone Trump, Flynn, Trump team, millions of Americans. Right then and there, James Comey is guilty of perjury. This system was used to try to get information on Trump and his team, and it was also used to get leverage on individuals, such as who? As I mentioned, judges, such as who? Dennis Montgomery testified information was targeted to get on Roberts, Chief Justice Supreme Court. So maybe it makes sense why Roberts somehow flipped his Obamacare vote. You think that had... And also the judge in charge of the FISA court, Walton. Oh, you mean the FISA court, the same court that granted the surveillance grants on Page and, Carter Page, Flynn, Manafort, Papadopoulos? You mean the FISA court that relied on a fake Russian dossier that was funded by Hillary Clinton, the Clinton campaign, and the DNC? So maybe it makes sense now why some of those judges supposedly didn't even question this document, because maybe the judges were told, hey, so judge, you're questioning about this document. Well, we got some questions about you. You think that maybe shut the judge up and judges up of why they allowed a fake Russian dossier that was not sourced to be the hallmark piece of evidence that was utilized to surveil Trump and his team? Well, many people are going to say it's conspiracy theory that these judges were in fact monitored through this system. Okay, big league politics. Evidence: Brennan and Clapper hacked FISA court judge Reggie Walton. Comey covered it up. Evidence is now circulating among lawmakers in Washington that makes the case that the Obama administration intelligence officials John Brennan and James Clapper hacked FISA court judge Reggie Walton, in addition to Supreme Court Justice John Roberts. Now remember, John Roberts is not only the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, he's the one who oversees the FISA court. He appoints them. Yeah. But Mary Fanning and Alan Jones recently published a piece, and it was entitled Obama Surveillance System Aimed at Donald Trump and Americans. Now remember, we did our interview March 19th, 2017, that I'll have the link down here. Well, many people say, well, it's just conspiracy theory that about this hammer, and it's conspiracy theory that they even realize that this... Listen. Sunday, March 19th, 2017, immediately following Lieutenant General Tom McInerney's revelation of John Brennan and James Clapper's illegal surveillance system known as the Hammer, text messages between FBI counterintelligence chief Peter Strzok and his mistress, FBI attorney Lisa Page, referenced Dennis Montgomery and attorney Klayman, who also represents Montgomery. Quote, this is from the text that night. So we did that interview, I believe it was the last segment of March 19th, 2017 show. So that was from 4:30 to 5 Eastern. Okay, so this is just several hours after we did the interview. Quote, this is Strzok's Page text message that same night. Quote, say nothing. I'm not going to respond to the whole group. The Klayman Montgomery stuff in the email. Jim just sent us is utter BS. Jim being Comey? Best to say nothing. So when confronted on this stuff, they always go underground. Best to say nothing and brief later if necessary, end quote. This is from Mary Fanning and Alan Jones. WikiLeaks provided the additional proof of the hammer when they dropped the Vault 7 cache of classified CIA documents about CIA hacking programs that confirmed the existence of the hammer. Montgomery maintains that Brennan and Clapper, using computers supplied by who? Ready? Robert Mueller, illegally collected data on 159 Article 3 judges, Supreme Court Justice John Roberts, and one-time head of the FISA court judge Reggie Walton for the express purpose of tightening Obama's grip on power through, quote, leverage, end quote. He further alleges Brennan and Clapper's private surveillance system was built with computers obtained from the FBI under Robert Mueller's watch. Montgomery alleges that Obama's intelligence chiefs spied on Donald Trump for years because the CIA feared Trump. Conspiracy theory? Nope. Conspiracy fact. And I can tell you also for a fact, the night of March 19th, 2017, I knew we hit a huge, huge nerve. And the reason is because the blowback I was getting for that interview with General McInerney, who presented the information about the hammer. And why so much blowback? Look, I believe the fake Russian dossier was created, funded by the Clinton campaign, funded by the DNC. It was created to have some tangible information to go to the FISA court to get that surveillance grants as protection, as cover for what they had been doing illegally with the hammer for many months. Everyone focuses on the fake Russian dossier. Fine, that's bad enough. That's horrible. But what's even worse is prior to that, Obama directed Brennan and Clapper to hire this guy Montgomery to illegally surveil, violate, not just Trump, not just Flynn, not just Team Trump, but millions of Americans' Fourth Amendment rights so that they could get information to be used, as is pointed out in this article, as leverage against people. Does this sound like something out of a third world country, out of East Germany, the Stasi, out of the KGB? You bet it does. And that's exactly why it's hammer time. And it is for Obama, Brennan, and Clapper. If you get the time, listen to the interview I've included from that night, March 19th, 2017. That's when it all started to fall apart for the globalist syndicate and their puppets, Obama, Brennan, and Clapper. I'd like to thank you for joining me today. Now, next week, a little program change. On my Insider Insight show, I recently interviewed Charles Woods, who is the father of Ty Woods, the former Navy SEAL who was a CIA operative and one of the 4 Americans who lost their lives in Benghazi. It's a fantastic interview that we have on our subscription platform, but I'm going to take a small clip of that and provide that for next week's YouTube show, Operation Freedom Briefing. I think you'll find it incredibly compelling. And it is yet another indication of the evil and the criminality of the globalist syndicate and their puppets, such as Obama, the Clintons, the Bushes, just to name a few. Thank you for joining me. Until next time, this is Dave Janda signing off. Dream big and dare to fail.